Let's run it, traders. Good morning, good morning. A little bit late to the game here. 9:37 a.m. Happy Thursday, March 6th. If you're new here, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Welcome to the show. Make sure you read what's on the chart, read what's on the screen right here. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing you see or hear from me or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. Let's jump onto the chart since the market is open and running. I've got my Topstep X, Project X platform loaded up right here. We are looking at micro ES on the 1 minute chart. I've got three 50K Topstep XFAs daisy chained together. Let's see what we end up with today, man. Pretty choppy market yesterday for sure. Pretty wild price action. A lot of back and forth movement. But we are opening up back to the downside again, looking very weak. Yeah, definitely gonna be waiting for the 15-minute opening range to set since I am starting this live just a hair after the open. But I do like to be waiting for that 15-minute opening range to set in the first place. So we'll get some top-down analysis rolling right here. Good morning, Ryan, Lone Wolf. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you hopping on. Welcome to the show. See if we can't keep making some money here. Let's see what we can do. So pretty back and forth up here around these highs, looking very weak. Yesterday with this bullish close, right? This daily candle closing out the way that it did, long wick to the downside, failing to get below the March 4th, 2 days ago's candle. This looked like maybe we were going to see some push to the upside today. Not so far, right? Market said no way. Overnight low ended up down near the lows of these candles. We are opening up towards the bottom of yesterday's candle range, right? We have prior day high and low marked off. We have overnight high and low marked off. As we jump down to the 5 minute, we could see this even clearer, and our VWAPs give us a little bit of reference. Definitely choppy down here, right? Like we're not just completely selling off. Like we don't have this type of structure to the downside. Definitely choppy back here, down here. Cautious that we could see some back and forth price action. We do have major news tomorrow, major market information coming out. But right here, right now, we are opening up to the downside. We have session VWAP crossing over prior day session VWAP. We are below both of those with price, and we've broken below the overnight low. What I had put in before 9:30 a.m. Let's see if that was actually in the right spot. Yeah, yep, this low right over here. Push to the downside, retesting this low right now, and we are finding some sellers right off of this NYSE anchored session VWAP. Prior day low down here. This is the low coming off of this candle right here. Next lows. We start to come down below these levels, man. Could be looking dicey. Conversely, we start to push to the upside. We got some clear, obvious levels we might want to go test. Overnight session high or either one of these VWAPs. They're both pretty dang close to each other. I could see a pullback up there potentially before a sell-off. But this is looking weak. I want to be cautious hitting the buy button until we get some serious structure to the upside. But like I always talk about, going to stay somewhat flexible. Try to not come in with too strong of a bias and hang on to buys only or sells only. I don't think that's very helpful. Good morning, Rusty. What's going on, man? What's going on? Let's take a look at ES Bookmap together. I'm going to do a little bit better job of showing this to you guys as I'm looking at it. I don't like to run too much stuff on the main screen. I like to be able to have the chart in front of me. But if I zoom out, right, just a little bit, what's the most obvious prominent level on this chart? 750, right down here, which we're looking like we want to head towards right now. Quite a few orders on the book down here, starting to get overlapped by this algorithmic liquidity right here. I don't really pay attention to this stuff, and this is getting overlapped right now. But these liquidity bands, these liquidity providers, whatever you want to call it, if I zoom in, you'll see even more levels that show up a little bit clearer to the upside, right? We have quite a bit of orders up here at this nice round psychological number. Very obvious spot. They often end up that way on ES. But we may want to come down to that 750. That looks very reasonable so far. which is prior day low. Very, very obvious spot. This is looking weak. You could sell right off the open on this thing if you say, hey, I think we're going to continue to the downside. Wide stop loss. You know, I'm looking at this breaking down to prior day low, and maybe I want to hold on to it all the way down to the downside. I could see that as a setup. Here on the 1 minute chart, you know, I'm looking for these smaller movements. Not looking for a massive amount of points on each trade. So I don't mind waiting a little bit for some structure to really develop in a direction, and then try to flow with it. But yeah, this is looking pretty weak right off the rip. Couple minutes to this 9:45, 15-minute opening range sets. Taking a look at news for the day, we have Trump talking at some point, which is tentative. Outside of that, we're pretty clear. We've got some low impact news throughout the day, and then tomorrow we do have NFP. We have NFP. So, and then Powell is speaking at 12:30. Trump speaking at 1:30. It's going to be a mess tomorrow. 8:30 a.m. we have the big stack of red folder news, and then after that, right into the middle of the day, we've got the Fed chair, and then Trump speaking. So it could be really, really dicey into tomorrow, but somewhat clear today. Choppy session yesterday. Definitely a tough session. Yeah, man, I'm tempted to sell this right off the rip down to 750. It's just a little bit early for me to be hopping on the charts and jumping in, but this looks like it's going to pay. Yeah, right down to 750. Let's see what happens when we get down here. Quite a bit of liquidity down here. We may start to break and run to the downside, and really quick off the open is going to be a good opportunity. I'm interested to see what we get down here. Fix my screen real quick. Volatile. We are moving back and forth with some momentum here. Yeah, quick 10-point 40 tick movements here out of ES. This could be a little bit dangerous. This could definitely be a little bit dangerous. But I'm looking at this as structured to the downside. Looking like we want to continue down to these 750s where we have a large quantity of orders. But it could be dicey, right? We're still only, 15 minutes into the open. We often do see quite a bit of volatility before we start to pick a direction here. But we got our 15-minute opening range, and I'm looking at this thing short. Yeah, not a great risk structure down to 750, right? I don't know that I'd want to hold through this, although we may break and run. Structure to the downside, maybe on a farther pullback up. A test of 15-minute opening range high, test up around here, and we start to see some momentum back down to the downside. I could look at it. I do think we come in tag prior day low, and we potentially come down lower. But this isn't really a wonderful way to structure risk. Like I talk about, sometimes that does keep me out of a trade. I'm not so concerned with creating a massive risk to reward or even a really, really positive one. but I got to get my stop loss in a level that makes sense. And if I say I think we're headed down here, but first I'm okay if we, you know, pull back up, sweep these highs, and then come lower. I don't want my stop loss right here, right? That's just not a great place to put it. So I'm gonna stay patient on this one. I got a decent feeling that we maybe wick higher, but we come down here and take out this this prior day low where we have quite a big stack of orders. There we go, pulling back so far. Tempted to take it. Yeah, I'm going to get short from down here, guys. Stop loss back up here. Going to look for this 750 to get taken out. We got a big stack of orders on the book down here. I'm short 3 micros from 760.75. Again, we may crack higher. This is pretty quick. We haven't broken either side of the 15-minute opening range. I'm just trying to get a feel for where I want to put stop loss on this one. Up here is much more reasonable, but if I'm just targeting that 750, I got to be cautious of that level. So I'm going to take this one down here. We come higher. I think we're cracking 15-minute opening range high. We're pulling up to this area of, you know, volume up here. We're going to come and check out this area first before we move lower. But I'm looking at this as another retest of the session VWAP, right? NYSE session VWAP anchored test of this area, and immediate sellers taking it back in. We got buyers bringing it higher so far. This could be a little bit early, but I've been waiting off of some of these opens where we're opening up really bearish, right? Higher time frame trend down, session VWAP down, below prior day session VWAP, big stack of liquidity down here. I got to put this trade on. If I have to realize this $198 worth of stop, which it looks like I'm about to, so be it. So be it. But that's going to be my trade number 1. Looks like I might have to take a very quick stop on this one. Again, big stack of orders down to 750. A lot of volatility around this area. I think we can see a crack higher. This could be tough. But I'd love to see sellers step right back in, rip this thing lower, come through prior day low. And that was my opportunity to take it within this range. So if I have to take the first stop, I will. And we'll move on for there. Look for a potential second trade. Yep, coming above this area of high volume here, not finding sellers out of this area, needing to retest some of these lows, overnight session low, having to pull back and crack higher first. Looks like I'm gonna have to take this stop, boys and girls. Yep. That was a quick one. Immediate $200 L times 3. Crack back up off a 15-minute opening range low. My gut still tells me this is going to come down through the 750s. We'll see how my stop loss placement was on this one. But breaking 15-minute opening range high, this is a trade I would probably try again if we start to come lower. Again, if we come up above these highs where my stop loss was, I did feel we would move higher. Check this range out right here. Just didn't get the sellers to step in around this NYSE session VWAP, this area of high volume right here. That trade I'm taking every day. I just want to be faster taking it the way that I was right there. Pull back up, sellers stepping right back in after putting this low in, continuation to the downside. I just happened to jump in right as we were going to continue and break session highs to the upside. So let's see where we go from here. Still a big stack of orders on the book down at 750. Maybe a quick session for me. I'm going to look for a second trade. Aggressively to the downside. That's my play today. But choppy so far, all the way back up, cracking 15-minute opening range high. We could pull one of these moves back down and then continuation. we head lower, I'm going to want to take this thing short again. Whoa. But that's a quick L on the first one and a $200 L, which I don't love, but part of the game. All part of the game. Checking Bookmap, see what we got. Yeah, man, big stack of orders. I'm still looking at that 750, man. I'm gonna hold that short bias and until we start breaking higher and really start running back up towards VWAP. I'm still looking at this thing to the downside, but we'll see what we get. Part of the game. Part of the game. Would like to keep the winning days larger than the red days, so really not gonna love another L on this one if I have to take it, but I'm looking at this thing moving lower again. Don't want to get too aggressive, but watch what happens up here. Through these lows, man. I think this is going to be a quick pullback up. Could take it short from right here, stop above this level, which is exactly what I'm looking at. Coming back down through, this could be just a change of the structure that we're going to see today, and we're going to rip higher, back up to the upside. Right back down to this area of high volume. I'm taking it short from down here, guys. This is gonna be a quick live session for me. If I take this L, I'm done for the day. I'm carrying a strong short bias on this down to 750. I'm going stop above this 15-minute opening range high. On this pressure to the downside, back down to this NYSE session VWAP. Looking for a move all the way back down through prior day low. I like this risk structure. Putting on about 14.25 points of risk for something that I'd likely be holding for at least a 1-to-1 back down to the downside. But this could play out very poorly right off the rip. Could continue higher, could have to come and test session VWAP, and I could be aggressively looking at this just too short to the downside. But I'm going to go ahead and put the trades on that I see fit. It's been something that I've been trying to challenge myself to do faster off the open. I've been watching a lot of good opportunities play out in front of me and not executing. And I have to execute and realize L's on the way to realizing those profits. So short on this again from 57.66. Stop at 780.25. Still a big stack of orders down around prior day low. I'm looking for us to come through 15-minute opening range low, the low of the session. Back down towards prior day low. If I realize this stop loss above session high, above this crack above 15-minute opening range high, I'm done for the morning on these three accounts, and the day for that matter on these three accounts. That would be my my morning session. But again, sticking to my approach, my game plan, putting the trades on as I see fit, right? Not getting shaken out by the first L. Super bearish, super weak, right? I'm playing off of low time frames. below VWAP, session VWAP, below prior day session VWAP, price significantly below all of these, opening up to the downside, pulling back, cracking 15-minute opening range low, showing weakness. We have a target down below on Bookmap, giving us some additional confidence to trade to the downside. A way to structure risk that makes sense. You know, everything here is telling me to put the trade on. You know, I have to take these L's if they come with the wins. I'm putting on a decent amount of risk for these, you know, so I am a little bit dynamic with the way that I handle risk management. I'm not too wild in these accounts, right? About $200 worth of risk per trade on the upper end. That's kind of what I like to do. If I take two back-to-back L's at $200, I say, all good, man. Not going to end it as blown accounts. Continue trading, go on tilt, do anything wild. Just move on to scalping NQ, testing along that stuff. But we'll see. We'll see what we get. Again, we got a level of high volume right here, right? Kind of consolidation point where NYSE anchored volume weighted average price is. We seem to want to hang out around there. Can we come lower? Can we push through down to these lows? Can we actually see some movement here? This isn't a super tight scalpy trade, but I am on the 1-minute chart. And, you know, a disadvantage or something that we could see here is just a lot of chop back and forth, big pullbacks, taking everybody out that's trying to short this thing like I am for the second time before we move lower. But I'm looking at that movement right here, getting caught on the wrong side of that first as potentially that wick higher before continuation lower. Again, we come back up through this high. I do think we're going to at least check out VWAP, if not higher. So I like this invalidation point. I think that would be really buyers showing strength, saying, hey, you know what? We're not coming down to the 750. We're not headed down towards prior day low, at least not yet. You know, we're going to go check out VWAP. We're going to go, you know, pull up higher, maybe go check out the 5800s first where we have some orders. But we put our trades on. We let them play out. That's all we can do. But again, man, appreciate you guys hopping on here with me, putting trades on, trading live with you guys, showing you the wins, showing you the losses, showing you the good stuff, the bad stuff. Stayed out of some chop yesterday, which was nice. Put a trade on for break even after watching just some really back and forth choppy price action. Saved myself a full stop out on that one. Did come back in and get some scalping sessions in with NQ. Played very nicely on Topstep. Put $400 into an XFA. Did not play so nicely on Tradeify. With Tradeify, I had to learn the hard way about setting bracket orders and just getting comfortable on Tradeify, not trading through TradingView. So that was a frustrating fat finger mistake, but it's part of it, man. That happens. No excuses. It's our responsibility as traders to know the platforms that we're on and how they function. And you know, I've got to understand how a bracket order is going to be placed or not placed based on, you know, how I'm entering. So frustrating, but it happens. It happens. So let's see what we get here. Watching this one and Bookmap closely. Again, man, smash the like button. Maybe ES will hear you and send the market in the direction of my trade, so I don't have to realize 2 L's with you guys, but I will gladly show you what real trading looks like for me. Momentum back up. Buyers stepping in here. We got volume behind this. Ooh. Ugly on Bookmap. Ugly. Yeah, this may not be it. Would like to see a beautiful reaction here. Seller step right back in, come through this low. That's going to give me a lot of confidence. But we got buyers stepping in here. We got momentum to the upside. Just not wanting to come lower on this thing yet. Choppy session so far. We may have to just be back and forth in this range, similar to what we had yesterday. And me trading from the middle of it with a stop on the outside is not going to pay. That could very well be what we see today. But that was quite a bit of volume behind that. You can see it right here on the traditional volume. Don't like that at all for this trade, but not going to actively manage. I will leave this stop as it is. Something I've noted from my data is moving stop loss to break even, ducking out of trades, you know, early to the downside. Not helpful. Not helpful. I do notice I've let a handful run past 1-to-1 and then all the way back to break even. And I've either got to realize that profit quicker or just leave the trade completely on all the way back to stop loss or to the farther take profit. So for those reasons, no close. No close on the way to stop loss. Not going to do that. You listen to your data, right? You know, if your data shows you, hey, Zach, you've closed out 3 trades, which is what happened last week, 2 or 3 trades for break even that would have been over a 1-to-1 winners. You've had trades run to 1-to-1, back to break even to stop you out, and then all the way back to, you know, past a 1-to-1. Got to leave those bad boys on. Yeah, this ain't looking good. Not the momentum continuing that I would have wanted here. This looked pretty nice as we started to come lower. Retest of this level and a continuation lower would have absolutely looked really, really good for this. Looks like it's going to be the frustrating 2 stop outs right off the rip early into the session, 30 minutes in. Part of it, man. Part of the game. Got to put these trades on as I see fit. Stick to the approach, stick to the system, which ain't gonna pay every day, but in the long run will. For me. But we'll watch to see how this one plays out right here. Again, watching Bookmap. Order's still on down below. Beautiful stack down there. I think even if we're going to push higher on the day, like if we're actually going to have a nice correction, yeah, here we go. Even if we're going to have a nice correction, I do think we were going to come down here first. But this looks like we're going to push to the upside first, potentially come lower. That's going to be it for me, boys and girls. Quick session. Really quick session. 2 L's right off the bat. I'm taking both those trades every day. I have to. Those 2, for me, are solid, just on the wrong side of the market. Buy from either one of those levels would have paid very nicely. Here we go back to VWAP. I'm still carrying the short bias. I still think we see 750 traded out today. And we don't just completely pull back up to the upside. But now, this is breaking structure to the upside. My validation point being right above that high. Solid place for me. We're cracking higher, pushing back up, headed towards VWAP. Again, I still think this is going to be a frustrating move where we do come back down to check this out and potentially lower. And I just happened to be too early today. But unfortunately, part of the game. And something that I'm going to show you guys here live with me every day. Wins, losses, break evens, everything in between. Again, I'll also let you know when I think I could have done something better, improved. On this one, I'm taking both of those. I'm taking both of those. Solid trades. I think on another day, either one of those continue running to the downside and generate a nice positive risk to reward. Just not today. Just not today. So where do we go from here? I'm not looking buy side until we really came way up here. I really wouldn't want buys at all today. But until we came way up here, formed structure, maybe retested this 15-minute opening range low and continued pushing up towards VWAP, breaking above, getting above this level, maybe into this area of high volume, and then targeting opening range, overnight high. But if and until that starts to happen, I'm still looking at this short towards prior day low and a down day, and that I'm just a little bit too quick on the, or just not playing out today. Not that I'm just a little bit too quick. Just not playing out today to the downside quickly off the open, something that we've seen day over day for the last few weeks. So, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up quickly. 2 L's, part of it. Like I said, man, you guys will see the real side of trading. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders do lose money. Make sure you do your own research. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. I will be on to scalping NQ, the testing that I've been doing that's been generating wild results that I am halfway attributing to some positive variance, but we'll see how it continues to play out in Topstep and Tradeify accounts. But yeah, appreciate you guys being here. I missed some of the chat. Got to admit, Zach's reason is on. May go higher. Yeah, may go higher. Got to realize we opened 2% down, basically, which is normal turnaround time. Sorry for the L, bro. You got, yeah, sometimes, right? Sometimes if we open 2% down, you know, buying the dip is going to be the play. for the most part, I'm looking at that as weakness. I'm looking at that as weakness. So morning, NQ making some resistance from day's prior control. Still holding short bias. Yep. Support from week's value area low. Sure. Finally managed to catch a live session with you, mate. Glad I did. Good energy, discipline, holding. Yeah, unfortunately, you got the 2 L's on the first one that you caught, but part of it, man. Part of it. I'll show you guys the wins and the losses. Stay longer. I don't have any more bullets in the chamber, and what I'm going to demonstrate on these sessions with you guys here is that if I hit, what I would say a dynamic level for me, a daily loss limit, something that I'm not comfortable continuing to put risk on past, which right here in these accounts is there, I'm not going to keep trading, right? You have to limit your downside. You have to say, hey, $416 is a good green day. That's a tough bad day. Definitely don't want to have to realize more risk than that. And although the next trade might be a nice $400 winner, I don't have the chips to play. That's part of risk management. At a certain point, you have to say, I'm going to leave this be as a nice, $416.94 times 3 red day. Maintain the profit that I have in these accounts and not turn it into a blown account. So that's the game plan there. But again, appreciate you guys being here. Part of the game. If you trade the rest of the day, trade well, structure your risk. Looks like we want to run back up above VWAP. We'll see where this goes from here. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. Oh, actually, I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be on Topstep TV. Is it 1 p.m.? Yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern. Topstep TV, live trading with Dobie time. 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I'll throw the link in the chat, all that fun stuff. See you guys in Discord. I'll keep you updated on the rest of the day. Talk to you later.